about an hour and 75 PowerPoint slides. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know, we're checking out early, right? No, we're not going to have 75 PowerPoint slides. This is going to be a participatory event, which means we will engage at some point in time. I'll ask a question, you provide an answer. We'll have some open dialogue and discussion about team building, which I hope you'll find interesting. How many team players do we have in the room, by the way? We're all on the same team, so everybody should raise their hand. Okay, there you go. Everybody's a team player. Now, our roles may be a little different. Yeah, I'll raise them anyway, right? I've got eyes everywhere. But look, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. I hope to make this engaging and somewhat, engaging and somewhat fun. Okay? So our first, by the way, do you have any questions right off the bat? Any questions? Class of 81, I think I got the gray hair to prove it. But yes?
What's the meaning of life? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
There's a book about that. Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
What's 42?
Yeah. All right, here's our first exercise. Everybody take a piece of paper. Take one, pass it around. Probably need a few more over here. Team building exercise, not calisthenics. Blank sheet of paper, right? What are we going to do with this? Because we're all on the same team, so everybody gets a piece of paper. Got a sheet of paper? Everybody? Sheet of paper? Good. Okay. Team building exercise. Listen up. Take and fold your sheet of paper in half. Got it? We've only got 45 minutes. Need a sheet of paper? Got extra paper for that young man? All right, here we go. Fold it in half. First instruction, fold it in half. And fold it in half again. Now tear off the left corner. Just tear off the corner. Got it? Now tear off the right corner. They're going to love me because we're going to have little pieces of paper all over the floor. Okay, fold it in half again. And then tear off the left corner. I'm left-handed. I'm partial to that side of the world. Left-handed. Yeah, there you go. You can't tear it. It's a phone book exercise, and you could probably rip the phone book in half, right? No? All right. So here's what I wanted to do. Everybody take your sheet of paper. We've only taken 3 different tears of this. So open it up. Take a look at it. And does yours look like this? Hold it up, all those pieces. Hold them up. Hold them up. There you go. Whoop, it's a little different. That was pretty close. There you go. Now, If you, when you were younger, you probably had a pair of scissors and you made little snowflakes. Well, this is not anything like a snowflake. Why? Why don't we have everybody looking the same?
More specific on corners or which way to fold it.
I thought I said left corner.
The instructions weren't sound.
The instructions were not sound. I thought we explained folded in half and everything, right?
I folded it in half.
Yes? Yes? Yeah? So when we're talking about team building, we're all on the same team. We should all have the same sheet of paper. That one's pretty darn close. That was pretty close. Hold that one up. There we go. Okay, a little different. So why? Why are they not the same? Question, response.
Probably everyone has different, like, I guess
Interpretation?
Yeah.
Okay, measurement. All right. You're all right. It's about what you interpreted, what the left corner may have been, how you folded that piece of paper. Does communication play a big part in team building? Absolutely. We're going to talk about some successful team examples. All right, name your favorite reality TV show. And don't say the Kardashians. That's not a team. Really. Reality TV show. Can you think of one that's team-oriented? How about this one? The Amazing Race. Who's watched that? That's pretty cool. I just dived into that one not too long ago. I found that these couples, these two people, have to really come together and communicate and share emotion. They share a same goal, right? Like millions of dollars of winning or something like that. And it's physically demanding. Some of this stuff is pretty tough. Amazing Race. How about Survivor? One of the classics. Yeah? You know, where does team building factor into that? The whole thing. What is one concept about Survivor that really just upsets the whole apple cart once they get entrenched? I'm kind of leading you there, but once they get entrenched in their tribe, what happens throughout this? At some point, what happens?
One of them goes crazy.
Who, an individual? Yeah.
They make like little alliances with each other.
The alliances, and they merge. You know, Jeff says, drop your buffs, we're going to merge. Well, that changes the whole dynamic. What you had over here as your team is now a whole new team, and you have to start all over. Does that happen in real life? It does, doesn't it? What? Give me an example. How does it happen in the workplace? Mergers of companies. That's good. Culligan's been bought like 14 times. We've had owners, a lot of different owners. Where else? Can you be moved to another department? You just come on board. You graduated from college, you got a degree, and you're going to work for a company. In Preston, they say, you're going to be in this department. What do you have to learn?
Everything about the new department?
And what about that department? The people that are in it, right? Who the players are. So let's talk about professional sports teams, like the San Antonio Spurs. You know, I picked them for a reason. Anybody got an idea why the San Antonio Spurs exemplifies a solid team?
Because they won titles together.
They've won titles together, yes, but so has the Lakers. Huh?
They're really good at passing the ball.
They're really good at passing the ball. That's a very astute visualization. They're older. They're mature. They've played together for years and years and years. San Antonio Spurs. Oh, the Yankees. I don't know about that. I'm going to switch that one to the latest Super Bowl winners, and they are who?
The Denver Broncos.
Denver can tell you. That's his name, Denver. That's his name. Yeah, the Denver Broncos. Now, why would that be a team that you go, wow, they got it together? What was unique about that game?
The defense.
What?
On the defense.
It was defense. You had a comment?
Oh, they went from like, before this, I don't know how football works, I'm not interested in it, but before.
I want to hear his.
Yeah. What I'm assuming is before, they play all of the other teams and they go from the best and from the best and from the best, from the best, from the best. And then to literally the two best, which are whoever two played.
Yeah.
And that's a team effort.
Yeah. That's pretty close. That's how it is. But they weren't expected to win that game, right? The MVP was on the other team. I know, big shocker, right? You got a 39-year-old quarterback, barely can hold his head up. No, I'm just kidding. He's legit. He's legit. Huh? Yeah, he's legit. But look, what was the and you said it, defense. Defense made the game. A game plan by Wade Phillips. Guys that can execute. My goodness, Von Miller played a tremendous game. But Denver Broncos exemplifies a successful team. How about Apple? Apple as a team? You never think of them as a team, do you? But they have groups within that organization. It's how that company is set up. What do you know about Apple? What do you know about Apple? Yeah?
They're very, very diverse with its people. What every single store you walk into, they're all completely different. They're all unique in their own way. And they're global too.
They're a worldwide organization. And everybody within that organization plays for the team, the Apple team. And then you have Chick-fil-A. Oh my God. Anybody here work for Chick-fil-A? You know anybody that works for Chick-fil-A? You do? You do? You do?
Yeah.
What can you tell us anything about it?
He was a friend from high school, but I don't really know how he likes working there or not, but I just know he works there.
Yeah. Why would I pick Chick-fil-A as a team?
Is it because they have strong moral values?
Okay.
Well, my
But
friend.
that doesn't necessarily make them the team, but that is a plus. It's a plus. Your friend what?
She hated working there.
She did?
She was like, they make you say all these stupid things.
Yeah.
And like they enforce you to wear like certain shirts all the time, and that they were just very like nitty gritty and.
That's a good point. Let's talk about that just a minute. Because you know what? You're going to go to work for somebody that's going to have a uniform. They're going to have a dress code. They will have an image that they want to project to the marketplace. Does this make sense? You go into a business and somebody's standing behind the counter and they're a little suspect about serving you some food. How often would you go back? How often would you go back? Yeah, you.
I don't know, I'll probably go back.
You might go back. If the price was right and the food was good, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's what's unique about Chick-fil-A, and I hope all of you will understand and maybe take a little closer look at Truett Cathy, the founder of the organization. There's a reason they say my pleasure. Yeah, that's what they don't say, no problem. They say, when you say what? Thank you, they say my pleasure. Because it's about serving. Now that, I know that's going out on a limb. You're going, how in the heck does that play into team building? Well, that's what they do, is serve you excellently. Because they're the only fast food restaurant that I know of, and I was there Saturday for lunch. They're the only restaurant I know of that has somebody walking the floor to make sure you're happy. And do you need another drink? Would you like a refill? May I take this tray and and throw your stuff away for you. Who does that?
Raising Cane's.
Whataburger. What's that?
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane.
Yeah.
Now, hey, that's good. Because guess what's happening? You've got an organization that set a trend and now other companies are emulating. Why do they do that? Because it works. Do you think that the people that go eat at these places, some of you, all of us maybe, that go to a Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, or Raising Cane's, we go there because of the service? Anybody? No? It's because you like it? Yeah. It's not good for you, as you can tell. But really, it's about the organization, the philosophy, and as you can see with some of the examples that we put on the board or up on the screen, these are companies that have set trends. These are sports teams who people want to emulate and try to do win championships. So, in order to have a successful team, or a team succeeds when its members have this commitment to common objectives. Keeping in the Chick-fil-A vein. Yeah, they have a dress code. Yeah, they have a certain way that they want their employees to respond. And there's a reason for that. And it's because of the foundational beliefs of the owner that are passed on to the employees themselves. Define roles and responsibilities. You know, we did a little team building exercise. What if we had team leaders in each of these three sections? Could we have accomplished a different goal by having some team leaders rather than me just giving you directions?
Yep.
I would bet the outcome would have been different. We may have half of the papers looking the same when we tore those corners off. Effective decision systems, communication, and work, and of course you can see good personal relationships. Why do you need a good personal relationship in an organization? Period. I just go to work, I punch the clock, 9 to 5, cha-ching. I get my check. It's all good. Is that a team player? No. Not really. So why is it important? Leads to better communication.
I think it's a better atmosphere too.
And a better atmosphere. How many of you have heard this before? Show of hands. I know we really got to raise our hand this time. Show of hands this time. How many of you have heard, if you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to be there very long? Yeah. I don't know who told you that, but I'm sure it was somebody close to you. And it may have been a professor, but it may have been somebody in your family. If you're not happy where you're working, you're not going to stay there very long. You can just put all the, where's my MIS guy? You can put all the data in that computer and it'll probably tell you that. So team morale. Think about those teams that we put on the board. Think about team morale. Coaching, training, motivation, common goal. What else do you see or would you add to that list? Anything? Wow, Alva, I'm in a bad spot. Or can you see?
I just have to move them.
Okay, all right. Well, you can move on the end if you want. All right. Where does skills play into this team building thing? Whose skills? What's that? Each individual skills?
We all have like a different set of skills and if you like put them together, you can make something better.
That's right. That's right. It's all part of that collaboration. We all possess unique skills, abilities, dynamics that we can bring to a team. It's how we use those. It's going to involve the leader your coach, the owner, your manager. How many of you manage a team at work or like right now? Anybody? Nobody's managing. You do? Oh, good. Well, tell us about it. What's difficult?
They're around my same age, and you have to communicate with them, and they think differently, you know?
Yeah.
Because every team play is different, so you
Right.
have to talk to them differently.
Okay. Well, how do you talk to them? You said differently. How do you talk to them?
As a boss, but also as a friend.
Really? Okay. Does that does that drive greater respect for you and your role, or does it let them know that you've been in their shoes, you understand what they're going through, type of thing? Yeah. Has a lot of merit. It's tough to be a good leader if you don't understand what the roles of everyone is supposed to be. Teamwork skills. If you took the pie, you divide it up. Everybody has a role, just like we talked about. As far as team building, we all have skills and abilities. Okay? How do you get this?
Earn it.
What? Earn it.
Earn it.
Yes. Do not think for 1 minute that you walk into the job tomorrow and you're the team leader, that everybody's going to give you respect. That doesn't happen. Okay? You have to earn it. How do you earn it?
Trust,
Trust,
communication.
communication, demonstrate some knowledge. What's that? Reciprocating respect. That's a very good point. You know, I'm sure you can think of professors and managers and people that have come into your life or you've seen that don't know how to reciprocate that same respect. Because just because you're the leader, the manager, doesn't make you the end-all go-to person. There's other people on the team that folks can go to for answers. So yes, you need to do that. And let me ask you this. Listen. Now I know everyone was listening when we did the little group exercise. Everybody had a piece of paper with some corners torn off of it. I get that. But in those group meetings, team meetings that you have, what's that?
I have a meeting today.
You do? Well, hopefully, maybe you can apply something to that. So let's talk about this. What's unique about, I say unique, what is important about listening in this group teamwork thing?
Get everyone's feedback.
Get everybody's feedback. Good. Because not only do you need to give clear, concise directions, you need to hear what people are suggesting. Right? Rearrange the words, the letters. Rearrange the letters and listen and tell me what word that is. Silent. You can't listen if you're talking, and you can't listen if your mind's somewhere else. So it's about being silent so that you can understand what the message is. Very good. We're talking about leadership here. What's the role of the leader? To what?
To motivate.
To motivate. What else? Motivation's good.
Set an example.
Set an example. That's good. Anything else?
It's a guide.
What's that?
It's a guide.
To guide. You hear these words? These are all good words. To motivate, to guide. And what was the other one? I
An
missed it.
example.
Set an example. What else would make a good leader?
The one who's still willing to learn.
and they're willing to learn along with you. Does the leader have to have all the answers? It shouldn't. That's a major party foul right there. Does the leader have to know all the answers? No. It's about the team members that they've assembled to do the exercise, to achieve whatever the goal or the activity is, right? It's the point person. It's the spokesman. It's the one that, when you know, at the end of the day, somebody's going to come back to you and say, so what are you guys going to do, right? What's your team going to do today? That's the point person. And you need to be able to assemble all of that team meeting information and put it together for them. I said they don't need to know everything about the activity, but they should be a subject matter expert. If it's something about data management, they probably want to know or need to know, what is the data that we're going to manage? How important is it? I don't know. Give me another one. What's important in the marketing world? Anybody? Any marketing majors?
Knowing the demand of something.
Knowing the demand of something, right? Kind of like economics, right? Knowing, do we have a product that we can go to market with? Denver, what would you say a subject matter expert, a leader, would need to know about? What else? Tough question, huh?
You didn't like a specific task to say specifically.
It doesn't necessarily have to be about the product or the economy. It just needs to be clear about what the task or the activity is. In order to be a good leader or to be a leader, you need to have some clear understanding as to, or be the subject matter expert on what they're talking about or want to accomplish. There's that word again. Listen. Be a good listener is also a sign of a good leader. Respects others. Bingo. That's a good one. That's a good one. You said that. She said that. You said that. And a clear vision, a delegator. Why is delegation part of this team building exercise?
One person can't do everything.
Albert, you're exactly right. If one person could do it all, what do you need the rest of the team for, huh? You know? Think about the sports teams. Think about that Survivor or the Amazing Race. If one person carried the whole team, really, is that the team? Is that the team? So why is delegation part of this exercise?
Because you're representing whatever you are delegating for or who. So like, say you work for like Apple, and you're their delegate, you're representing Apple like you are Apple. Like on their behalf, you're making decisions for Apple, because obviously like you can't have 3 million employees like all saying yes to something, so you have one person.
You can't have 3 million Steve Jobs, right?
Right.
God rest his soul. I mean, he was the visionary. He was the guy that had the ideas. You had a comment up here. What else did you have to say?
I was just going to say, delegation often can do some organization.
Say it again real loud.
Delegation can also have something to do with organization.
With organization, with the organization of the team, the whole company, right? So you brought up Apple, very good, and there's not 3 million Steve Jobs running around, because everybody's got their unique skills and abilities. Every everybody has a role to play, and the leader delegates certain exercises or certain projects to those people who can deliver. Does this make sense? You're a team leader for your company, right? And there's a reason they probably selected you for that, right? So now you've got to delegate some of those duties to other members of the team to help you achieve the goal, right? How many of you have experienced this in workplace? Anybody? Anybody have a job outside of coming to school? You do, obviously. You do. Denver? You, Shamir? Yeah? Shamir, you want to tell them how's this working in your world?
What's the question?
How is this leadership, this whole talk about team, how does it work in your world?
At my job?
Yeah.
Well, it works well.
Huh?
It works well.
It does? What works well for you or for your team?
My manager, she gives us her phone number, personal number. We all have good communication with each other.
All right. Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Because, I've worked for a lot of different companies, and you don't always get the manager's phone number, much less the cell phone number, for a means of communication should there be an issue arise. They either leave it up to you, kind of on your own, but you can always reach out to somebody. That's pretty cool. That's good. You've done a really fine job talking about what a leader is and the roles of a leader. A good example motivates, inspires. How about the team leader, that it's their way or the highway? How does that play out in business, huh?
No.
Big negative, right? Why? Why is that? Any basketball players in here? Raise your hand. I won't embarrass you. None? What do you think about the guy that he runs an I offense? You know what that is? That's I bring it down and I shoot it. Okay? Really? And you see that in some group team dynamic. That's a different role. That's a flip side to this team building exercise. Here's some other roles. Here's some roles that you can play if you're on a team at work. You've been assigned a task to grow the business 15% in 2016. Well, you've got to put your team together to do that. And there are roles that people play, like the initiator. What do you think that person does?
Starts whatever you're doing, which sets the goal, gets everyone to start.
Yeah. Rebecca was the initiator of our team meeting today. She kind of laid the ground rules, gave an introduction, here's what we are going to accomplish or talk about. So Rebecca did that for us. What's the recorder do? Team dynamics. Team building. What's the recorder do?
Would that be
Do you
kind
guys
of
have pasta for lunch? Everybody's kind of lethargic.
maybe would that be like the secretary that writes down everything that's going on, keeps up with any
Yeah.
events, lets, like if you can't attend something, they let you know, like, hey, this is going on.
Somebody, I don't like the secretary word, that's like old school stuff. The assistant, how about that? The assistant is the person that's going to need to at least document what we have covered and what the next steps would be. That's a recorder. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. This, the skeptic. Why do you need, who wants a skeptic on the team? You do? Or what?
You need a realistic person. So you need like, okay, how are we going to do that? In what time frame are we going to do that? You know, how many hours is it going to take? How many days, weeks, months, years, whatever? What's the realistic side? This is what we want. What are we actually going to get?
There you go.
What if there was another way we could do this?
Perfect. It's all of those things right there. You got to have somebody, whether it's realistic or not, but somebody's got to look at the other side of that situation and say, hey, what about this? Or how about that? And then you have the optimist. You know, we're going to get through this. We are going to achieve our goal. Let's not lose sight of the goal. Oh, the timekeeper and then the gatekeepers. You heard of these terms before? Timekeeper's pretty self-explanatory. Like what you said on the, we need to set realistic goals and a time frame for which to achieve this activity or project. Now, what's the gatekeeper? What do you think this person does?
Keep everyone on track.
Keep everybody on track?
I really don't know.
Anybody?
The person that like keeps the information internally.
You don't want to allow, you've got your team established?
Oh, no.
You've got your group? We don't need somebody from over here in cubicle Z pitching in on this activity when they're not in it from the beginning. You follow this?
She's
They
like
gave-
she's like the correction wieners, like you can't sit with them.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like, hey, this is our meeting and you were not invited. The gatekeeper makes sure that we've got all the team members on there, everybody's involved. So, what have we covered so far? I know I've talked fast. It seems like I've been doing this an hour already, and your ears probably say, God, I wish he'd shut up. But this is time for a checkup from the neck up. And I mean this in a way that, what do we know about team building so far? Anybody? Everybody. What do we know about team building? What have we covered so far? What's unique about teams and why is it important?
For them to work as one to achieve the goal of, to make it, like good, I guess.
What do you think? Yeah.
Everyone has to understand their role in the team to make the team work as efficiently as possible.
That's huge. You need to understand your role in the team. What have you got so far? Yes, sir.
We need a leader.
You need a leader. What about this leadership person?
That's why, keep everybody on track, like, you need different people over there.
Different people, skill sets, keep them on task. Preston, what do you think?
Yeah, like she said, you gotta have somebody to tell everybody what they need to do. Everybody wants to make that game-winning shot, but somebody's gotta rebound, somebody's gotta be on the backside or make the three if they don't make it.
It's interesting how we can migrate to the sports analogies because, you know what? It's a team thing. Unless it's, golf is a team thing too. They have a lot of different, those golfers have a lot of help. Alva, what else would you like to add to our team building discussion on where we've been so far in 30 minutes?
Sum it up. Oh.
Because I'm going to show you some cartoons. That's why I'm asking.
A good leader who knows what they want to accomplish and delegates the role to the individual player and comes together as a group and a team that efficiently reaches their goals.
Beautiful. Here, you can do the rest of the day. No, seriously, that's sums it up really, really nicely. How many of you have taken a personality test? Come on. You know what I'm talking about?
They're
Right?
so broad. They can like be the personality of a squirrel. I don't know why.
Squirrels are fun. What about the personality test? What'd you learn? Who raised their hands over here? Yeah. What?
It's like how you run the rest and get your attention.
What's your name?
Darius.
Darius. Darius brought up something here. It's about how you learn, and what was the other one?
What gets your attention?
What gets your attention in this, or the most? Personality, learning about your personality, and it can be broad, but the classes that I've taught and the ones that I've taken, there's usually four. The expressive, the driver, the analytical, and the amiable. There's really like four quadrants. And that's high assertive, low assertive, highly responsive, and low responsive. If you can narrow it down to one of those four, if you know what your personality is, that's pretty good. Because yes, you can get all over the board with different descriptions and definitions. But what other reason is it to know your personality? How does it play into group dynamics? Team building, huh?
You learn things about yourself that you didn't really know, like stuff that you used to work on.
That's good.
See if you'll mesh with the people you're working with.
It's what, Denver?
See if you can mesh with the people you're working with.
Mesh with people that you're working with. It's all of that. But here's what's so cool about the personality thing. What if your leader, your team leader, is analytical? Now, the MIS guy, if your team leader is totally analytical, you understand what I'm saying? All right. How are they going to accomplish a goal if they have all analytical people on the team? Does this make sense? You follow this? If everybody's consumed in the data, they're going to not have a skeptic. They're probably not going to have the optimist necessarily. So you need to know what your personality is and be able to identify the personalities of other people. Huh? Absolutely. Because it involves communication. If you understand, and you'll see it exemplified here in these video clips. But if you understand what makes somebody tick, their personality, you can connect faster and quicker with them. And you think about that in the business setting, and you can also apply it in the personal life as well. If you know somebody's personality, you know their tendencies, you know how they operate, and you know your personality, you can appreciate that. So let's look at the driver. What do you think the driver's all about?
Pushing things, getting things done, setting exact time for us. Making
Yeah.
sure that it gets done then and there.
That's right. That's the driver. What do you think the expressive is? Give me some traits of an expressive person.
Passenger.
What's that?
The passenger. Pulling the map. Constantly talking.
Yeah. What else? Expressives. You ever go to a party? Somebody's swinging off the chandelier? That's an expressive. Or they had too much punch. What about the, well, they're fun-loving. They're usually disorganized. They talk with their hands. I could be one. What about the analyticals? Kind of goes without saying, right? Accounting majors, no offense to any accounting teachers, but analytical people usually like numbers.
They're straight to the point. I like to go by the book. They like instructions.
Yeah.
Numbers that are set in stone.
Regimented. Yep. Go to their office, and I can bet you a donut. They're probably everything on their desk is well organized. Everything has its place. And if it's not, they'll say, "I know where every piece of paper is in that stack." Did you get that? I know where. Never mind. I know where. Yeah. What about the amiable? Amiable. What about those people? Yeah, they're just happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. They go along to get along. You're not going to find too many leaders out there that are amiable. But that's the amiable. So let's take a look at some of these.
The sin of losing track of time. Locally, it's 1:56. That means we've got 3 hours and 4 minutes before the end of today's package sort. That's how long we have. That's how much time we have before this pulsating, accursed, relentless taskmaster tries to put us out of business.
Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries, 4 miles an hour. That gives us a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen-house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Checkpoints go up to 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get it.
I do voice. Yeah! We've come to this planet looking for intelligent life. We made a mistake.
We're happy to be in America. Don't ask for a green card.
Well, it's certainly a rough meeting, and it's not going very well for me, I'll tell you that. Hey, boss, give it a chance. She's going to loosen up any moment.
Look at me right now, money penny. Want to undo that bow and get to know you.
Ah, first thing to make us with you. Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head. I'm sick out of corn wine.
Don't make me smack you, sweetheart. I'll do it. I do a great impression of a hot dog.
How's that?
We had a couple rains last night.
Yeah, you seem a little hyper.
I had a couple Red Bulls. You ever had a Red Bull? I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night. I really like Red Bull. I got a new necklace. Glows in the dark. You can't really see it right now. You see this?
That's really something. Does the Red Bull make you crash pretty hard?
No. I don't think so. No. Hey, after we job, we should get a Red Bull. You get a Red Bull, and I get a Red Bull. We can share a Red Bull.
Okay, that'd be really quick. That sounds right. I think I did. Okay, a lot of energy. I like it. Everybody, this is Carl. Carl, this is everybody.
Hey, everybody. Henry Weston. Named the Fibonacci series from its 11th to its 16th inch. 89, 144, 233, 377, 610. Perfect. The number 4, do we really need it? If you like squares, you do. Oh, I like squares. Good. Now, the hot dog to hot dog 1 ratio. Why, for the love of mustard, are there never enough times? Extra hot dogs. Yes, but why?
This afternoon, I want the singing tuna fish casserole, no pickle on the plate, well done Frenchy fries with melted Swiss cheese and gravy on their own plate, and just a special strawberry chocolate oasis pie. You got that?
I got this.
Annie? Annie, you are still doing it. I know. You have a problem with unexpressed anger.
Well, I know. You're absolutely right. You know, it's my, I don't know what it is. It's my mother. It's Connecticut. It's all these
places, and Aaron.
No, I know we're separated, but I think this is just really, it's like a rest period, Leslie. We're just kind of getting our...
Oh, do it, Elaine. Get angry.
I couldn't, I know that I should, Leslie, I really do. It's just that...
Hit me. Stand up
No,
and hit me.
I can't. Leslie, I'm so sorry. It's just, you know, maybe, I know what, maybe, next day...
Let it out. I want you to hit me. Trust me. Come on. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
No dinner for you then?
Aw, gee whiz, that really hurts. I'm a real aficionado of death camp cuisine.
Look, as long as you're here, why don't you just pretend to be a guest?
Did you notice how the people's voices, especially the amiables, what was their voice inflection like compared to that driver of Tommy Lee Jones and Tom Hanks?
Monotone.
Kind of monotone. Kind of, well, if you say so, right? That's a little different. So there's a little sneak peek into the personality world. You find yours, and you'll know what the compatible side of that may be. There's a lot to say about the opposites attract. Okay? Drivers and amiables get along really good. I wonder why. Right? Myers-Briggs says extroverts, the opposite is what? And censors. And then the opposite is intuitive thinkers versus feelers, judgers versus perceivers. I'm not an expert in this field. I'm sure there are those out there who can teach that very, very well. But know that it plays a huge role in group dynamics, in team building. When you're putting your team together, whenever you launch out there and you're involved in an organization and somebody assigns you the task or an activity and you get to put your team together, you need to think about how personalities are going to play a role in that exercise. You want to learn more about it, here's some places that you can, I'm sure everybody's going to start tapping it in. Not really. But you know where to go to find it. There's plenty of places online. So you know who you are. Alva. So how well do you play with others? Now look, I'm not asking you to raise your hand or voice your opinion on this. I want you to ask yourself that question. You know your personality. That's great. How well do you play with others? How do others perceive you? What type of personalities are you attracted to? Be thinking about that. What types of personalities do you attract? Anybody seen this before? Great little acronym called TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. Think about it. Put it into play. Next time you get asked, what team means, together, everyone achieves more. So let's all go be a team player. Woohoo!